Do you ever feel like you run out of time for the relationships that are most important to you?
Yeah, this is my life all the time.
Like,
Work.
Yep.
Try to get stuff done, and I'll spend time with you next year. Next week.
Next year, yeah. Well, we can spend so much time on our work and the to-do list maybe that we don't leave enough time for the things that are most important to us. And we sometimes even tell ourselves that there'll be more time later. I'll get it all done. Yeah. And then sometimes it doesn't happen. We feel guilty. You ever feel guilty that you don't spend time with people?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole nother video, right? I will anticipate feeling guilty in the future, and I'll do things to avoid that guilt, right? Okay, that's a whole other time now. But the idea that I wanted to just mention is planning fallacy.
Okay.
We can have this planning fallacy. We think that we will be able to get through a lot of things, getting a lot done, like the checklist, check, whenever in reality, last time, we did a similar behavior, we couldn't get through all of those things. So even though, say it's changing a tire, it takes you an hour to change the tire, or it would me, right? You can know that, and then the next time think, oh yeah, I could get that done in 15 minutes.
That doesn't make sense.
But we do this all the time.
But we do that. And sometimes we do it because of social pressures. So if you know that you're supposed to hang out with somebody in 30 minutes, you tell yourself, oh, I can get the tire changed really quick, because I can do it in 15 and then be with that person in 30, even though last time it took me an hour.
Yeah. I think that there's a lot that can happen here, but the big point I feel like is happening is that we are spending more time at work and not on our families. And so if I'm at work and I've got all of these things to do I set a time and say that's whenever I'm done, or do I have to get through all of my to-do list? If we're having this planning fallacy and we're committing to things and we're telling people that we can get X done, and then we miss out on dinner with our family, or we're leaving our spouse, significant other wanting, like, you're not even home, you're not with me, we have all these unmet expectations, then we need to look at what it is. So I think planning fallacy is a big piece. So what's some solutions? What do you think?
Being honest with how much time something takes you, because if maybe you don't do this, but we're aspirational in how long we think someone's going to take us. So if I tell someone, yeah, I can be there in 10 minutes, if you really think about it, you know that you're not going to get there in 10 minutes.
Did that happen to you recently?
That happened to me actually today. I thought that I made a mistake and I had to turn around and go get something at another building. And I was like, yeah, I'll be there in 10 minutes. It took me more like 20. If I would have thought about what it was, but to hopefully say the better thing, we're risking not being honest. And I wasn't trying to be dishonest or lie to the person, but I was just not being accurate. So what if we were more accurate? Because we've all met somebody who says, yeah, I'll be there in a few minutes. And they aren't. And you have a lower level of trust for that person. And the person who I was meeting, I don't want them to have a lower level of trust for me and put me in that category of, well, Chuck says he'll be here in 10 minutes. We'll see him in 30. I don't want people saying that about me.
So why did you do that in the moment? I think of another social psych term called being a cognitive miser.
Cognitive miser? I'm not a miser. That feels insulting.
No, we don't want to do the extra cognitive work for anything that we cannot. So whenever you drive one direction at work to get to work, you don't leisurely want to try all these ways. You're like, nope, you already know the path. I don't have to try to use my brain in other ways, or I can use my brain by listening to a podcast or having a phone call.
Okay.
And I don't have to do that cognitive work. And so we're looking to do as little cognitive work as possible.
So you're calling me mentally lazy, and that's why I told a lie today.
It's just everyone is. It's
it's not just me.
You're not alone.
I'm a miser.
You cognitive miser.
I'm a miser.
We're all
cognitive
misers, right? I know that's not a very pleasant term.
I don't know. Is miser a person or is miser a thing? I don't know what that is.
It's an action.
It's an action.
We're a cognitive miser. Okay,
I'll
so
learn that later.
Planning fallacy and cognitive miser. Yeah, welcome to my social psych class for the semester. So whenever you're in a situation, try to be curious about it. Ask yourself, why did I do that? Or if you're not meeting the needs of your family, you're consistently showing up late, or you're running out of time, you feel stressed out, be curious about it. What are the things that I'm doing over and over and over again? And do I need to allow more time? So one thing for going to work, oftentimes people are honking their horn and they're stressed out. It takes me 20 minutes to get to work. Let me allow 30. And then I won't have to be so stressed out. But we will plan.
Man, even you saying that right then, that just seems like the thing we don't do.
Yeah, I know, right? It's
We
planning,
don't do
it's
that.
planning fallacy.
We don't do that.
I'm going to go ahead and do another load of laundry, or I'm going to sleep a few minutes longer. I'm going to stare at myself in the mirror or something, right?
And then we create the stress and the grumpiness.
And then everybody else has to deal with us. So you want your relationships to be better. We want your relationships to be better. So be curious about whatever habits are going on and try not to engage too much with planning fallacy, except that we're all cognitive misers. We all engage in this planning fallacy, but we can be aware,
Yeah.
assess what to do about it, and then act differently. So
Be
all right.
curious.
Have a good one.